YouTuber, including myself, makes it look easy to make money online. And for those others, and for me, often it is. Although you don't see the years and years of failure before we got to that point, for whatever business it is. You don't see the constant struggle of honing your craft and figuring out what works and what doesn't. So I thought to myself, what would be a great online business idea that the average everyday entrepreneur can relate to and start immediately with little or no money? What would be one of the easiest online businesses that you could start today very, very cheaply? And also could be up and running very, very quickly with little to no time invested once it's up. See, I know that the majority of people watching these types of videos are not full-time entrepreneurs. Maybe they're looking for an online business they could start to just get a little bit extra side money. Or maybe they're looking for a smart way to escape their 9-to-5 and capture their freedom back. More importantly, how could I document starting a business like this, and how could I show it? Not just explain it to the camera, but actually show it. So here we are. And today I'm going to reveal the first 20 days of this online business. The question we want to answer is, can you make $100 a day flipping used books and used games on Amazon? So the first thing you want to ask yourself when you start a business like this is, what's the budget? How much money do you need to get started? Now, this is the number one question I get across business models. It's usually something along the lines of, hey, I have X amount of money. What business can I get started with, or what business is the best for me? So we're literally talking all the games and all the books all together was literally started for $100. But you can get started for free. You don't actually need money to get started. Believe it or not, I actually did go out and buy the games. So I went out and bought all the games from somebody. I was actually filming this specific YouTube video about 2 weeks ago, and I went through the free stuff to actually demonstrate it, and I happened to notice there was a listing of somebody listing a bunch of games, and they were just trying to get rid of them. So I made them an offer of $100 for all of those games, and they took it. Now, the free books, I went and grabbed the free books off Letgo as well. So somebody was trying to get rid of the books, and I went ahead and grabbed them. The reason I got started and got the idea to film this was because I was filming a lecture for one of my courses on how you can use free on Letgo, something we'll talk about here in a second, to acquire inventory to make initial startup capital, and I happened to notice the book. So both of them were by chance randomly, and it gave me the ideas to do this, but you can basically get started with zero money. I could have just went the book route and started with nothing. I didn't have to buy those games for $100 as well. I did, like I said, pay $100 for the lot of games from that lady, and that lady was selling them on Letgo. So I was searching through, like I said, and I end up buying 56 total games from her. You'll see some of those pictures up on the screen of all of these games, and that actually comes out to $1.78 per game if you factor in the fact that I spent $100 for 56 games. So total listings, because keep in mind, all those listings were not allowed on Amazon, so there probably was a couple hundred books, and there was 56 total games. I didn't list all those games. I didn't list all those books. Some of them were, not in the best condition, and I didn't really want to jeopardize one of my selling accounts to, get bad feedback or anything like that, so I didn't list them. And some of the other ones, keep in mind too, that they were restricted. So these are all things you want to factor in ahead of time when you go about doing this. Now, the next question you want to ask yourself is, where can I acquire cheap or free inventory for a business model like this? We already touched on Letgo, and how I basically did that was I came to letgo.com and I searched through free stuff, and I basically, what that's going to do is going to suggest free listings of things that people are just trying to get rid of nearby to where you are. So it obviously behooves you and benefits you if you are, in a more centralized location that is heavily populated. If you live somewhere rural, it might be a little bit harder to get great inventory for free. Now, you can do that on Letgo. You can also do that on OfferUp.com as well. Just sort through free right here. And same thing goes. It's just going to suggest some stuff to you that people are just trying to get rid of. Hangers, there's a random example. There's always furniture, stuff like that. Another great place is Craigslist free. So if we go to Craigslist and we search for free, where is it? There it is. Same general idea with Craigslist. You're just going to see free listings people are trying to get rid of most of the time. And another great place is Facebook Marketplace as well. A lot of times people are getting rid of stuff on Facebook Marketplace as well. Like, for example, this couch and love seat. Obviously, you can't list that back on Amazon to resell. You get the picture there. But it's just an idea of where you can find things that people are trying to get rid of. And if, you can find books, or you can find games, or you can find anything like that, you can do an online reselling business like this. But anything goes. You can find a lot of stuff on these marketplaces. Now, other places that you can potentially look for are used bookstores, or you can search wholesale liquidation or wholesale used bookstores online. I believe there are several websites. If you just Google that, you should be able to find a couple of them. Another great place is you can buy liquidation pallets or just, a huge lot of books on sites like eBay. Now, this one's a little bit expensive, but if you look here, you're getting 1,000 books for $750, which clearly I'm not going to run the math on, but is under $1 a book, so that's pretty cheap if you want to get started that way. Another great example right here, you're buying 500-pound lots for $75, but you do have to pick it up, so it obviously depends on where you are. That's pretty cheap. I mean, look at those lots right there. That's a lot of books for $75. Right here too, $225 free local pickup for the same thing. And those are just examples of places that you can find cheap and free items that you can list if you want to start a business like this. That's how you're going to find free and cheap inventory. Like I said, I found free books. I literally just found them on Letgo by chance, and I also paid for that lot for $100 for the games from somebody that was just trying to get rid of them on Letgo as well. One more thing to keep in mind too is the most time-consuming part of this was actually listing the inventory, and it was the worst part about it. However, you can it really makes it easy with the Amazon app. You can scan the barcode, or you can also just scan the front of the book. Both of them work really well, and you can simply list it from that app. I probably spent, maybe 2 to 3 hours listing all of those games and those books that actually were listable. So, that was the worst part about doing this. It's the most time consuming, but it might only take me, realistically, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes to really package something up and take it in. That's factoring in all sorts of stuff. It takes me like 2 minutes to package it up, maybe a minute to print the thing out and actually tape it onto the label. And then obviously it only takes me about, another minute or two realistically added to my day, because the post office that I drop it in the bin at, and it's super easy. I just drive up in my car like a drive-through, drop it in the bin, and boom, it's off and running, and I don't have to worry about it. So that's probably the worst part of the business, is just listing the stuff initially. Once you do get an order now, it's actually very, very easy. I actually just got an order for this book, so all I'm basically going to do is put it in an envelope, and I ordered these in bulk. We'll talk about the numbers on those a little bit more later. Also ordered the tape in bulk too, and basically all I do is put it in the envelope, seal the envelope up. Obviously you print out your packing label, which you're going to tape onto the envelope, pretty self-explanatory. I also like to tape the envelope shut a little bit to make sure that it's good. Boom, done. Put this on there. 3 quick pieces of tape. And voila, it's that simple. So in the past 20 days since I started, I want to go over really fast what sold and for how much. How much profit did I actually make? And remember, all these numbers that I'm about to show you and all these snapshots of these sales and these numbers, this is exactly what I only made from organic Amazon traffic. I'm not buying ads and I'm not spending any money to promote these listings. I'm simply matching the low price once a day on all listings. And basically, I used to do this single-handedly with every item until I found out that you can literally just click them all and then hit match low price, which makes it a lot easier to implement this business model, or really any business model where you have a bunch of listings. So let's jump in and I'll walk you through the exact numbers of everything. This is the first thing that sold in this business. It was a book, and the majority of these are going to be books. There will be a couple games mixed in. You'll notice here that the item subtotal was $549, and they paid a total shipping cost, the customer obviously, or the total shipping cost to me was $271. So that came to a grand total of $278 profit for this actual item. Moving on to the next one now. They paid it a grand total, so it was 97 cents for the actual book here, $3.99 in shipping for a grand total of $4.96. I paid $2.75 to ship this, media mail, and it came to a profit margin of $2.21. Moving on, right here, this one, right here, if you look at the numbers, same general overall message, so I'm not going to keep repeating it. This one came to a profit margin of $2.27. This one came to a profit margin of $2.52. This one came to a profit margin of $2.19. This one actually was a pretty decent profit margin. It was one of the books that actually sold for a decent amount book-wise, and that came to a profit margin of $4.56. Not trying to talk to mature women. I don't know why these stupid pop-ups keep popping up. If anyone knows, by the way, why the new Windows update forces you to get these pop-up notifications, please comment down below and let me know how to change that. Moving on. This one came to a profit margin of a whopping 3 cents because the shipping was high, and since this is actually a game and not a book, I wasn't able to ship it media mail, and that's why I didn't make that much money on it. Moving on to this one right here, that came to a profit margin of $2.26. This one came to a profit margin of $2.04. This one came to a profit margin of $2.19. This one was actually pretty solid. It came to a profit margin of $6.11. You'll notice that this was one of the first games that I sold. So it sold for a little bit more, and they paid a higher shipping amount. But then I ended up shipping it, I believe, priority mail anyway. So it came to a higher shipping total. But I could have made a little bit more money on this if I wanted to. Wanted a satisfied customer, though. This one, I sold two in the same, I guess one person bought two of the same things, or not two of the same things, but two items from me, actually. So this actually came to a profit margin of $3.23. This one right here came to a profit margin of $2.22. This one came to a profit margin of $2.64. This one came to a profit margin of $2.22. $2.10 for this one. This one was $2.19, and this was our heavy hitter at the end right here, which was another game, and it sold for $28.06. Now, the majority of these things I sold for an average of, it cost me an average of $2.75 to ship them media mail. Sometimes it's like 10 cents less, sometimes it's like 10 cents more. I'm not sure if that, is a weight thing or what it is, but media mail's super, super cheap, so that's what I recommend for the majority of books, obviously, if you're a merchant fulfilling them. But that's how that much was. So now if I add all those numbers up in profit on the screen, you're going to look at $71.82 total profit. Now that is before fees in the first 20 days for this actual business model. But keep in mind, I looked at all the average and fees that I paid, and this is with a professional seller account, and those fees came to an average of $1.80 per sale for those. So if you take an average fee of $1.80 and you multiply that by 18 sales in those first 20 days, then you get a total of $32.40 in Amazon fees, which would indicate a total net profit in the first 20 days for this business of a whopping $39.42. Now, keep in mind too, like I said, this is an Amazon professional seller account, so for somebody to operate a business like this, it would cost you $39.99 a month. And also keep in mind that this is only 20 days of the business and I'm getting it started. So that means that if you factor in the $39.99 it costs for a professional seller account per month, I actually lost, or would have lost in the first 20 days, 57 cents. So I didn't even net a profit. Also, didn't factor in the fact that I spent $13.49 on tape to get this going, so I could, tape up my packages and tape up my envelopes, and also tape on the labels. And I also spent $11.54 on a huge pack of envelopes, so I had enough envelopes to ship out these books, which, both the tape and the envelopes are pretty cheap when you extrapolate them over to how much you're going to pay per shipping out. But just keep that in mind. So I spent that like I said, 54 on envelopes as well, which means that comes to a total lost margin of $25.60. So I'll repeat that. I lost $25.60 doing all of this, and I lost a lot of time in the process. These are the types of videos I love to create. It was fun and intriguing as somebody that's passionate about online entrepreneurship and just creating businesses in general to see exactly what went into starting a business like this and how fast it could be up and running and exactly how much profit you could expect to make. Now, with more inventory and with more daily sales, this could potentially be more profitable. I average about 1 sale a day with, like you saw, a little bit under, because it's been going down every single day, about 300 items in inventory. And that can be scaled up, obviously, which I would assume is actually what's necessary to run this business every single day at a net profit. In my personal opinion, though, to answer the question of whether you can make $100 a day on Amazon reselling used books and reselling used games, the answer is no. Used books are highly competitive with low margins most of the time. Used games do have high margins most of the time, but don't sell all that quickly, again, most of the time. Now, to make a business work like this, you would need 2 things. I would say that you need more free inventory, so don't buy anything in bulk. And you would also only need, in my opinion, to go after the things that you knew had a good margin and did have high demand on the Amazon marketplace. The best way to do that would be to download and buy a potential app like your Scoutifys or your Profit Bandits. But there you have it, guys. I didn't just explain it to you. I didn't just give you the theory of how the business would run. I literally started it up myself, put the sweat equity in to document everything for you, and show you firsthand whether it would work or whether not and why. So hit that like button if you appreciate the countless hours I spent listing these used games and these used books only to lose money. And this is not what I do full-time on Amazon. The majority of what I do on Amazon and how I do make 5 to 10K a month every single month is doing online arbitrage. Now, I'll drop my online arbitrage playlist up in the right-hand corner right now. If you want to check out some tutorials of me actually sourcing, like I said, I don't usually resell merchant fulfilled like I have been with these books. Usually what I do is I go online and I buy stuff very, very cheaply, and then I'll send it into FBA, so Amazon's doing all the fulfillment, and I know exactly what my fees are and whether they're gonna sell. There's a lot of great tutorials in that playlist. I highly recommend that you check it out. I hope you enjoyed this video, though. Remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.